Hello you, welcome back to Mick. My name is of course Jack, the snack that smiles back, and here's today's stories for you all. Of course, any little opinions and thoughts you have while reading these stories and listening to my own thoughts, please feel free to leave your comments down below. I love to give them a read. Otherwise, let's get into it. Am I the a-hole for telling my daughter she needs to leave because she does OnlyFans? So, my daughter, female, 25, has been pole dancing for 7 years. She enjoys it a lot, and as far as I know, is very good at it. To my knowledge, she has only used it for exercise, and until recently, had a steady job in a law firm. But due to COVID, her firm went bankrupt, and she lost her job. As a result of this, she had to move back home. Since she came home, she looked for a job for a month or so, then stopped. I figured she was just taking a break, and since she seemed fine and is an adult, I didn't push it. After all, we're still in a pandemic. Recently, she seemed to have more money and has told me she's going to have enough to put down payment on a house soon. I told her I was proud of her and glad she would be okay financially. However, recently, I found out how she was earning this money. It got brought to my attention she was selling videos of herself pole dancing. I was shocked, especially as I was informed it looked like many of these videos were filmed in my house. She has a pole in her room she uses for exercise. I confronted her about it, and she seemed to consider it a non-issue. I'm not naked. No one will know it's in your house. It's not exactly this kind of work. It's an art form. I told her she needed to delete the videos and account or leave. She got upset, but I told her I'm not having that in my house. She's now packing her stuff and moving in with a friend until she has enough for her deposit. Unbelievably, she has told people about this, and I am now getting called an a-hole. So, am I the a-hole in this situation? I feel I might have overreacted, but also, this is a serious issue. Edit, I have no issue with her doing it in her own house, a studio, or a strip club, or wherever, but I don't want videos of my house put up. That is what my issue was with, not what she was doing. What she was doing was in my house. Edit 2. So it's almost laughable I have to say this, but I'd appreciate if all the people telling me it's perfectly safe would stop sending me threats. Edit 3. Stop messaging me asking for her OnlyFans.
Oh, you little dogs.
Alright, are they the a-hole though? Let's ask what some people think on the internet. I genuinely believe that while she lives with you, she needs to follow your principles. A lot of people are calling you the a-hole, but I say nata. My mum and I have different principles regarding a lot of things, but I'd never disrespect her in her own home by doing things she is not comfortable with. First off, people can have OnlyFans accounts, and there's nothing wrong with that. However, if you are filming in someone's house that did not give you permission to do so, they are well within their rights to demand that you delete those videos and leave their house immediately. Also, again, I have nothing against OnlyFans pages, but the problem I can foresee happening is that somebody OP knows will recognize their house from their daughter's OnlyFans site. Okay, but so what if someone knows that your daughter's doing OnlyFans? What, they're gonna judge you for that? They're the ones looking up your daughter's OnlyFans. I think it's clear to see who's the one who deserves judgment. But then again, he's also the reason why your daughter can afford a deposit for a house, so I guess you gotta thank him? 50-year-old Mr. Garrison from across the street, thank you for being so thirsty for my daughter. She can now afford a home. Oh. Everyone sucks here. I can understand you not wanting her to film the videos in your house and then putting them online. You probably went about it the wrong way, though. Could you not help her make a dance studio in your house or garage, though, instead of forcing her out? I mean, your house, your rules, but in my opinion, you are being dramatic. You said yourself she is an adult, and she uses it for exercise, but now that she is getting money from it, it is a problem? I mean, she brings valid points. Yata. And a final opinion I'd also like to mention. An adult living rent-free in her parents' house. The parent is citing privacy and safety concerns because it's her house being recorded in. Edit to add, put this in a comment further in. But the people on this sub thought privacy was a concern in the situation in the post below. I don't know why it's not a concern just cause it's apparent. And link provided pointing out the weird hypocrisy Reddit seems to have when suddenly it's a parent concerned about it, and, well, the parent just has to shut their mouth. P.S. It's not just for exercise. She is doing it in her underwear, so it's for sure softcore poon. Keep telling me it's not poon. I'm sure the people buying it are all using it as a workout guide and not other things. I get the bouncy teamwork positivity, or whatever, focusing on the exercise of pole dancing, but you're in the minority of the population currently. Well, my thoughts personally lie on the idea that yes, you are the a-hole, but not in the fact that you were just sticking by your own house rules, more so by the fact you didn't really seem to lay them out in the first place. I think your daughter deserved the chance to at least, rectify her mistakes. But of course, I guess I'm a bit more of a modern thinker about it all and a very accepting with the idea of people, well, selling their body for a good income. Hell, give me a few more months in the gym and I just might. Coming this summer, hopefully you, to my OnlyFans. For now, next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my sister she was dating my bio father? So, my life's turned into a bloody soap opera recently, and I could use some outside opinions here. I'm a 24-year-old female, and am the product of my mum having an affair. Fortunately, my dad decided to forgive my mum and keep me, and I had a pretty good upbringing. But I don't really look a lot like the rest of my family. I'm the only redhead, among other things. And I did ask questions of, why am I the only one with, insert trait here, nature growing up? When I was 17, my mum took me out for ice cream and introduced me to my bio father. She said that she felt I was old enough to know the truth, and explained about her affair, while also A, making me promise I wouldn't tell my older sister, 27-year-old female in the present, and B, hammering home along with my bio father that he'd never be part of my life and didn't want me. So your mother decided to introduce you to this man only to assert the fact that he has no interest in you existing in his life. That's a flippin' Father of the Year award right there. It was a lot, I won't lie, but I learned to suck it up and move on with my life. Fast forward to the present. My big sis has always gravitated towards older men. We like to joke that it's the result of too many George Clooney movies growing up. And 2 months ago, shared a picture of herself and her new boyfriend, who, to my shock, turned out to be my bio father. I debated what to do for a couple of days, then ultimately decided she needed the truth, and told her. My sister did not take it well and dumped him. But she wasn't angry with me. Honestly, by now she's kind of amused. Says that since she banged my dad, she's my mom, and has extra power to boss me around now. My mom, on the other hand, is furious. She says I divulged in something that wasn't my secret to share, and that I had no business telling anyone. That since bio father isn't related to my sister, it didn't matter if he dated my sister, and it wasn't like they were talking marriage anyway. It's been 2 months and she's still angry, still snide, calls me a traitor, and finds excuses to make loud comments about how I can't be trusted with anything private or important, so beware. At the time, I thought I was doing the right thing, but I've never seen my mum this angry before, and she sustained that anger for 2 solid months. So I'm starting to worry. Did I actually do something really terrible? Am I the a-hole? What do the comments say? Not the a-hole. She needed to know that. That's weird and a little too close to home. Also, it's kind of messed up that your older sister was never told about this key part of her family history. No, you're the a-hole. You were trusted with a secret and shared it with the one person she specifically asked you not to share it with. You're the a-hole, but only for how you did it. Did your mum already know who your sister was dating and still wanted to hide it? Or did you go around her back and told your sister without consulting your mum? I am one of the few people left in this world that has or will never share a secret that isn't mine. you should have worked out a game plan with Mom first. So I guess this last point is kind of valid. I mean, for all you knew, the mother was planning to bring it up at some point. Maybe wait and see if there is a genuine connection and, try and work a way around the fact that, oh, they're getting along really well. It would be rather a-hole-ish of herself to try and, well, not try, but accidentally break things up all because of a family technicality. After all, the story doesn't mention at any point that the mother is hiding this from the sister. For all you know, the mother and bio-father were probably planning on bringing this up to them. But, with understandable reason, considering how your mother's treated you and your bio-father, you then went ahead and just dropped the ball yourself. I think based on that context, you are kind of, the a-hole. But again, I do have to believe it's not entirely your fault this is happening. You seem to have brought this up out of real spite towards the bio-father and your mother, but ultimately, it was the sister who broke things off, not you. Next story. Am I the a-hole for causing my sister-in-law's dog to get diarrhea and refusing to pay for her couch replacement? Disclaimer, the dog is healthy and has no long-term sickness or anything. I don't think my sister-in-law has ever liked me much, a 17-year-old female, but this is the first time she's gotten super mad. She had a barbecue which she invited close members of both family. When it got cold, we went into the kitchen instead. Her dog was in the kitchen. Now, I was hungry, so I was eating some of the leftovers, and I went to grab a piece of spicy cheese, and accidentally knocked the tray. There wasn't a huge amount of spicy cheese, but a reasonable chunk. Before I got the chance to pick it up, her dog came zooming over and ate it. She was pretty annoyed, but just said, "Be more careful," and moved on. Later on, after we all had went home, she had texted my mom a long, angry text message saying her dog had diarrhea because of the cheese and that it was my fault. She sent a picture of the soiled couch and says she wants replacement money. I think this is unreasonable because, 1, she was the one who let her dog sit around in the kitchen during a party knowing he will go for any dropped food. When my mum has parties, we always either put the dog outside or in the living room, away from food. And 2, because we don't know for sure it was the spicy cheese. 3, because she was the one who let her dogs on the couch. If you let dogs on the couch, you risk them soiling the couch. Especially since she knew he had eaten the cheese. My mum, dad, and sister are on my side saying that the cheese was an accident and I'm not really responsible for her couch, but her and my brother are refusing to speak to us until we replace the couch. Am I the a-hole? Some entertaining thoughts? Not the a-hole. I don't believe in bad dogs, only bad owners. Sincerely, a husky. I was gonna say, threaten me with a good time, you hunky owner. The dog is the a-hole for stealing that delicious spicy cheese from you. Dog should pay for couch. What happened to personal responsibility? Dog's diarrhea, dog's money. Yep, dog needs to start paying its way. Maybe OnlyFans? OnlyFans. I am no longer comfortable in the subreddit. Are you seriously suggesting the dog does porn? Depends on their favorite position. That's right, cowgirl. Okay, so yeah, I guess it's kind of hard to really be completely certain with this one. I mean, I confidently have to say, Nata, based on the actions you've described, you clearly had no intention to give the dog diarrhea or to make your sister-in-law suffer. I do think your defense about the dog being in the kitchen is rather petty, but that pettiness is definitely trumped by the sister-in-law's pettiness about needing you to pay for her couch because of her pet that she wasn't being properly responsible for. Anyway, on to the next story. Am I the a-hole for rapping the N-word and 21 Savages a lot in an end-of-year talent show? Okay, just by reading that title alone, I know exactly how to portray this guy. For context, this is at university. We had an in-person, mediumly sized talent show-esque kind of thing. For years, as a white guy, I've loved urban music. It's basically a part of me. J. Cole, Kane, Logic, and Drake were basically my idols growing up. Back to the talent show. I decided I was going to rap the song a lot to the backdrop of the instrumental. I spent a while nailing my performance. I already knew the lyrics, so I just needed to round everything out. Well, Day of the performance. The show was held in this auditorium kind of thing. There were about 40 people in the audience, mainly just students from random courses and their friends. There were a few faculty members too. My turn comes, I'm nailing it. Lots of the audiences are complexly vibing. Straight up good time. The issue, there's a line where 21 says, "How many nitroglycerins you shot? How many Nickelback albums have done died?" I didn't consider there to be a problem because it's part of the song, and in no way am I using it against anyone or in a bad way. If anything, I'm an ally towards those that are allowed to say it. Afterwards, I was pulled to the side by the organizers and asked to leave and that I wouldn't be returning to the stage for the end when everyone goes back up. Not going to lie, I was livid. I called the lady, member of the student union staff social justice warriors who had a weird problem with me, a few names, and stormed out. The next day on the Facebook campus page, there was a post that made me out about an incident that occurred in Hall Name the night before, and how racially motivated language was not to be tolerated on campus. My name wasn't included, but the post had insanely overwhelming support, and the comments were really against me. Some people doxed me in the comments, but didn't get much traction. Regardless, I feel like this is also completely unfair. I'm the last person to be discriminatory. I know I shouldn't have called the lady names, but seriously? What do you guys think? Edit, if you legitimately think this is racist, you need more black friends. Oh no! Oh, buddy, you... Young man, I had hopes for you to be able to see the light here. I was ready to happily agree that this was merely just a little bit of ignorance at play, but no, the more I read this story, the more it became clear that, especially just mentioning how much of a social justice warrior that union lady was, it's pretty clear that there is an aspect of you in this scenario that isn't so much ignorant to this, but just doesn't care or doesn't think it's a big enough deal for you to have to care. I can agree with you. As a white person, I'm definitely valid in this topic, I think. That the use of the N-word in this music is, it's an art form. You're merely expressing the art. But issues of racism is still, very understandably, a hot topic among society at this point. I'm sure one day in the future, use of the N-word will be completely universal. But right now, it still has some very bad context behind it. Now look, I agree with what this comment says. You do seem like a good guy. I mean, you're just trying to rap a song that you really like and are quite passionate about. You as a musician are kind of a tool to bring emotions and vibes to the audience using a song. But here's the problem. You're using a song that is very clearly talking about racism and the prejudices against black people. Like how they're forced to survive, literally because of racist treatment. Hopefully, with that understanding, you can see why it's inappropriate for you as a white guy to be openly using every single word in the song. Am I the a-hole for not telling my boyfriend I took out student loans and now want to buy a horse? I'm a 25-year-old female and my boyfriend, who's 25-year-old male, are in medical school and law school respectively. We lived together for 2 years in one apartment, and this year moved to our new city where the cost of living is higher than before. In the old apartment, I was in undergrad, and he was working as a mechanic. We agreed that I would move in and pay him what my parents gave me for housing, and that seemed like a good situation. This ended up in about a 60-40 split in the apartment. He had already been living there, and this was more of a windfall than a detriment to him. When I graduated and was accepted to medical school and he to law school in the same city, we were thrilled that we would be able to continue to live together, so we could build a life. When he asked about my living arrangements and how we would split the new place, and I told him that I would have significant debt from med school and didn't want to take out anymore, he seemed upset, but his scholarship and military status meant he wouldn't have a lot of debt coming out, and we would have to sacrifice in the apartment and where we lived, but he agreed. When I started med school and took out my loans, I took additional money out as a nest egg in case I needed it. I did not tell him about the loans. The arrangement ended up that my parents paid my rent the same as before, and he paid the rest. Now more along the lines of 70-30 split with the increase in costs. Now that the school year is over, I still have my nest egg. I want to use it to buy my first horse, as I am a professional horse rider for others. The horse is about $10,000, and I have arrangements for low, stable fees. The horse lineage could mean that this would be a great investment long term, as well as achieving a lifelong goal. I told this to my boyfriend and offered him to buy into the investment, and now he's very upset with me and wants to talk later. So TLDR, my boyfriend paid the majority of the bills over 3 years, so I wouldn't take out loans for room and board for graduate school. I took out loans without him knowing and want to buy a horse with them since the school year is over. Am I the a-hole? First, some thoughts. You're the a-hole. Your nest egg is just extra debt, and you deliberately withheld it from your partner, who, together with your parents, have been paying your way for years. Guitar and about to be single. Yeah, the way you TLDR'd this definitely made you look like a bigger a-hole than what your whole story was implying. If you showed all your research regarding the great long-term investment that your horse lineage will be, maybe I can trust you know what you're doing. But considering you got more debt to be a fallback option in case you fall into debt, yeah, I can understand why your boyfriend wants to talk to you about your, investment strategies. Look, it's good that you're pursuing your hopes and dreams, especially a lifelong goal. But I think this is something that doesn't require you to achieve it while you're still going through medical school. And especially not while you are relying on both a partner and your parents to afford your state of living and study. Hell, especially if you're in medical school, you'll easily be able to afford a horse within a few years' time anyway, I assume. I work in acting stuff. I'm not a rich person. I assume you earn a lot of money. Sounds like you're using your boyfriend as an investment strategy as well. After all, he's helping you offset the costs of living. But anyway, those are my thoughts, and that's where I'm gonna end today's video. Again, any thoughts you have yourself, feel free to leave in the comments below for me to have a read. And if you got the time and want to see some more videos, check out some more on the channel. Don't forget to check out my OnlyFans, link in the description below. And with all that said, while you're looking at the description right now and being disappointed over the fact there's not actually a link to OnlyFans there, my name has been Jack. You have been a lovely person for watching today's video. I truly appreciate you, and I'll see you for the next one. Goodbye.